to be alive, blessed to take another breath, blessed to be healthy. A lot of blessings.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Can't complain.
Marcus Davenport yesterday was talking about how he kind of focused on the mental side of things this offseason and growing his confidence. I know it's only been a little bit since you guys have been back together, but have you seen that in him just being around him?
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of taken this approach where he's asking a lot more questions than normal for Marcus. It's more directed towards how is he going to, better himself in terms of how I react to a certain play versus he'll react to a certain play. And it seems like he's more locked in this early into the season. Can I say season? Like we haven't even. This is technically mini camp. Like it starts the season. It's part of the season. We got a month off after this. I mean, whatever.
Makes sense. I mean, we've all kind of talked about like his potential. I mean, what do you think he could be if he puts it all together, if he stays healthy and all that?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing harboring Marcus has probably been Marcus. I mean, when you talk about his ability when he is on the field and he is healthy, you've seen flashes from him that are freakish. And I mean, I've probably said it more times than not. Like he is just a hell of a freakish talent, just in terms of his size and explosion, his ability to make plays, and his fearlessness when he stops himself from thinking too much. And at times, he is harbored by these injuries, these nagging injuries that have been around. But I feel like heading into year 4, he's healthy. He's mentally in a great space. And I think he's physically poised to make a leap this year.
So he kind of alluded to yesterday, you playing through something. Were you playing through something last year? He just mentioned how, he looks at you and sees how you don't stop when something's wrong. And just curious if there was something going on that maybe we didn't know about.
It's football. Nobody is 100% healthy. I mean, the only thing we do know is that we have a game coming, that week. We have 17 games coming up. We got to make it through all of them. Nobody plays 100% healthy anymore unless, you're just that blessed. 10 years in, you're going to have something.
So was there a number that if it wasn't 100, was there something going on?
I don't look back. I look forward. Look, we got this season to worry about.
So how different is this offseason for you compared to last year, just with the pandemic? And you were coming back from something last year. So, I mean, just how do you feel like your work's been this offseason?
I didn't have to go under the knife this past offseason. I mean, I'll take that. I mean, when we think about what we want to do as a team and how close we've been the last couple of years, last 4 years, going to the playoffs with these Super Bowl hopes, heading to this training camp, we just got to sharpen our skills. I feel like our defense has to take another step. Our offense has to, do what they have to do. And with Sean and now Jameis having a year of our system under his belt and Taysom and everything that we have as a team, I think we're collectively poised to be strong this year.
And I know it's super early. You guys really haven't been around each other a whole lot, but just see your impressions of the rookie and how he's settling in.
I keep calling him Marcus Davenport Jr. I'm not sure if the similarities are, but I had him come to the house and pick up some body armor, some stuff to put up into the D-line room. My daughter thought he was definitely Marcus, and I was like, that's not. I was like, all right. He just walked up to him. Mr. Marcus was at the house. No, Mr. Marcus was not at the house. That is Payton. That is all right. But she's 4, so she's allowed to make those mistakes.
Hey, Cam, you did some really important work over the offseason, financing anti-racism training for police in New Orleans. First of all, thank you for that work. And secondly, how impactful was it to be able to bring that to the community?
Man, honestly, Crescent City Corps has done a phenomenal job with some of the training that they had already had before. Their first cohort was amazing in terms of the anti-racism, the leadership training, the equality provisions that they provide as a third party entity that's not just, again, it's not a part of the actual police force, is not attached to any government regulation. It's just a 501(c) that came in with great intentions. And after, looking at some of the regiments of their first cohort, I got excited about it, and talking with them, I got more excited about the impact it could make. So being able to be a part of the second cohort, I mean, attending some of these classes with some of these officers, it really gives a feel that, at least New Orleans, that we want to aim towards making a better impact towards the community and the policing force.
Thanks for helping to create a safer community in that way. May I ask, if you don't mind, is there a plan to continue that work?
There's always a plan. I mean, if anything, if I've been here for 10 years and if you haven't learned anything about me, I'm always looking to see what more I can do. I mean, I feel like this community is my second home. They brought me in. Hell, this is my kids' first home. They were all born here. It's not about me. It's about the legacy provided. I mean, to look at my kids and know that hopefully they'll be in a better position than I was growing up, it is really a motivating factor. When you think about the community that I've been a part of, I mean, everywhere from New Orleans East to living down in CBD to, now being in Metairie and still, being in church still in the East. Everything that we do, going to the best bank, doing what we have to do. There's a larger community out there than just what I'm looking forward to. So I'm always trying to affect us in a positive manner.
Amazing. Thank you.
Being such a veteran on the team, you said you always look to do more. So what can you even do more at this point in your career to make y'all's defense even better?
More forced fumbles. I mean, it's time to create create these turnovers. With more turnovers, it gives our offense a better chance to put more points on the board. And it seems like this mini camp, there's going to be an emphasis on getting this ball back. I feel like our defense has made strides the last couple of years. You've got leaders on every position from Marcus Williams to Marshawn Lattimore to Double D to at the linebacker position, Demario Davis being the All-Pro that he is, and then of course you've got me at D line. And I mean, when you look at a defense and you have senior veterans, is that the word? You have vets, and then you bring in a guy like Malcolm Jenkins, who's been here on his second go around, and after having success this last year, again you look at the vets that are in positions of leadership, and you feel comfortable. That the locker room is going to be corralled the right way. That the young guys coming in are going to be taught the right way. That the culture that we have established is going to keep on headed towards the direction that we wanted to. So when it comes down to it, senior veterans, I feel like that's gonna haunt me. That's gonna throw me for a loop. But when it comes down to it, I think that our defense is going to have to be a strength this year, more so than it has been in previous years.
What's the adjustment having that extra week between the first week of the season with only 3 preseason games, and the teams that are productive and rest enough in that off week?
Have no idea yet. Haven't had to deal with that. Last year, did we have preseason games?
Well, that's true. Yeah, no preseason at all last year. So
yeah, so
3 is better than none.
Yeah, back to preseason games. I'm more focused on the first week, and then we'll worry about week after that. When it comes down to it, as long as we're mentally and physically prepared for week 1, that's what's important to me. Then I guess the second most important thing would be winning a Super Bowl, and the third most important thing would be like celebrating the Super Bowl. But we'll worry about that later.
Cam, you mentioned the culture and things like that. Are you curious to see how this maybe kind of grows organically? Because for so long it was Drew Brees' team, and the Saints were synonymous with Drew Brees. But now that Drew is gone, are you kind of curious to see, does it become Cam in the defense, Alvin Kamara, just kind of how the new perception of this team grows now that Drew isn't the face of the operation, so to say?
I mean, I just gave you that roster check of what we have on defense in terms of leadership. If you want to ask for that offensive leadership, where you have one of the most dynamic running backs I've ever seen in AK, when you have a top-tier receiver when he's healthy. When I say top-tier, he's probably number 1. And Michael Thomas, of course. And then you talk about what our quarterbacks can do. We have a quarterback who's thrown for 5,000 yards in this league, in the NFL. And after, being in our offense for a year, he's probably more comfortable than he was last year. You get excited about what he can do. I feel like in terms of leadership, we've got a lot to offer. And shoot, let's not even talk about special teams, because I feel like Deontay's been special.
Are there any nuggets that you've given Jameis since you were a competitor against him for so long that he said maybe has helped him? I mean, obviously he's on your team now, so you want him to be the best he can be. So anything you were able to share with him last season to say, hey, this is something that you tip teams off with, or any other nugget that you've seen as a defensive veteran?
I'm not telling you. Why would I tell you whatever conversation me and Jameis about any tips that we have? I'm not giving that to the world. That's locker room talk.
You decided on what facial hair you're going to rock this year yet?
I haven't, but I'm working towards something. I haven't figured out what I'm working towards, but I'm working towards something. I think I'll have probably like a Donald Glover, Lando Calrissian situation by camp. I've got to work on it. I don't know if I can just pull off the stash and baby goatee situation with the space in between. That's tough. I haven't had a space since like high school. That's tough.
This is the important stuff that we're talking about.
Great. Well, I think we're all set.